This is the last part of the gospel, and it says, when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some of them doubted. And then here's what Jesus said. Jesus came and told his disciples, I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go. Everybody say go. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Spirit, Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. And be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. And the Gospel of Matthew ends with that. What do you mean by being a bearer of hope? Everybody say, I have a message.
I am a message.
We are called to be bearers of hope, bringers of hope. Let's reflect. When we're going to meet people, when we're going to the office, when we're meeting our friends and relatives and loved ones, how do they feel when they see you? Ito na si boss. Ito na si ma'am. Tayo na tayo. Are we bringers, bearers of hope? Yes, we are called bearers of hope. And it doesn't have to be in church, in this PICC setting, inside the church alone. Church is a dynamic living thing. And you and I are the church. It's not a building. Are you with me? We are not just going to stay in the upper room. We go out of the upper room. So live that Spirit-led life as God has called us to do. And He said, go! Go forth! And what are we bringing? It's not our message. It says, go and make disciples of nations. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. We are bearers of good news. We are the bearers, witnesses of the good news of God. That from death, He has bridged the gap to life. That we can live that fullness of life. And again, the beautiful, I need you to remember this. What is our hope? Ask the question again. Who is our hope? Hope has a name. And His name is Jesus. And I will be with you always, even to the end of age. That's very reassuring, isn't it? It is very reassuring that we're going to get out of here after this. It's just 2.5 hours with the feast, and after this, go, make disciples, be a bearer of good news. Brother Bo was in Lubaton. He said he was there to give the good news of hope, of the gospel, of teaching about financial literacy. How about us all? Are we all called? Yes, we are all called. Yes, you are. Say to the person beside you, you're called to be a bearer of hope. I was able to participate in, I was called to be part of a field mission. Our company has a small foundation, and we try to help the poorest of the poor, and we have an educational scholarship grant. And so I volunteered, and I was sent to a field mission in Silvino del Bosque in northern Samar. Anybody here from Samar? Yes, hello. It's a far, far place. And let me show that to you. We just to describe the experience just quickly, it was the flights going to that island is not usual. It only is like twice a week. So we had to go in via Tacloban, and it took us a 7 a.m. flight. Then after we arrived for an hour and a half, we had to travel by land, by a van, towards the most inland place in that island called Silvino del Bosque. We were in the airport. We flew at 7 a.m. We arrived in Silvino del Bosque at 6 p.m. It's far. I really asked, are we there yet? Many times throughout that trip. But there was a smaller, nearer airport, which is in Catarman, but there wasn't any flight at that time. So we had to do it, and we had to cross a river just to go to their poblacion, just to go to the main area. Stuff going there. There were dirt roads. It's hard to go to. And we checked the schools. We were there to screen, to have scholars, and those we were selecting a few that we could grant to have college education. And we were trying to do an exam, do an interview, and select. And at the same time, we went to the other more inland places, an hour away from Poblacion. As you can see in the pictures, it wasn't nice. It wasn't safe, actually. And we saw that it was a beautiful place. Beautiful. Untouched. However, it was full of poverty. And it's heartbreaking to see that in this time and age, there are still people going through that. And I saw the kids trying to be in uniform, and yet some are walking barefoot. And the poverty incidence in this place is 56%. More than half of the population doesn't have enough basic food and non-food items in their place, in their households. And one of the interviewers I was able to interview there she said, "I know we're poor." And I said, "Tell me, why do you feel, or why do you think you're poor?" And she said, "Doc, it is usual for us to eat at night via the moonlight. Because we were so poor, we do not have any money to buy candles, gas lamps, and we're conserving the wood for heat rather than light." And I said, "Paano pag umuulan? Paano pag walang buwan? When there is no moonlight?" And my heart was moved. I thought I was the bringer of hope. But I found hope there. I was talking to the teachers. Let me honor the teachers there. In the next slide, one of the teachers there in that, in a very poor classroom, and I said, "Sir, how far is your place?" "Well, he travels 3 hours just to teach." And I said, "How can you keep up? You have to travel." And he just said,